So how do you select the builder for your family's dream home? On today's program, we speak with Phil Paris. Phil and his family successfully built their designer home in Willoughby, New South Wales. In this interview, we'll learn from Phil the steps he took to ensure his dreams became a reality. Phil, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Ken. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now, I've looked through the telephone book. I've looked online for bespoke builders up on the North Shore of Sydney, and the list is endless. How did you choose? And I'd imagine you went through the same process. Why did you choose Skope Constructions over the many other builders touting for business?
Yeah, I've known John for quite a while, and I've seen the work he's done on previous projects, and to me, it all comes down to the quality of what they do and whether you can trust the person. Because the reality is, the step of building your home with someone is normally a 12 to 24 month process, and it's fraught with danger and it's also fraught with opportunity. So selecting the right person is key.
Now, in your particular situation, it wasn't a complete knockdown and start from scratch. You were actually renovating your home. What were some of the challenges in the start of that project that John helped you with?
So we had very little documentation. We brought John in very early to do the job on a cost plus arrangement. So where the costs were, we paid for what the costs were, and then we paid John a margin on top for managing the project and coordinating it all. We had huge challenges in terms of we kept the front facade of our building essentially, but we basically demolished the rest of it. And then we had wet weather for a considerable period at the start, which was challenging as well. So we got John involved in not only the build, but the design component. Through his work, we listened and learnt and had him involved in helping direct us on what to actually install and do that would be cost effective, but also fit for purpose in terms of the overall outcome.
What were the things that really stood out to you that showed you were getting great value for money in working with John and Skope Constructions?
Well, it was honesty and integrity, and John doesn't promise the world. He's actually the opposite. He's more straight, and he'll tell you where the issues will be in your construction, which help you identify areas of risk, and he'll manage those effectively. But he'll be honest and straight, and I think that's the key. He's not going to give you a proposal that's undercooked, so it's lower, and then come in and win the job and try and make money out of it during the process. He'll be straight and honest with you from day one. And from where we started with John to where we ended was exactly pretty much where he said, other than we made changes which were at our discretion during the build.
John is only as good as the people around him. How did you find the tradespeople that he brought into the job? What were they like to work with, and did you have a good experience?
Yeah, I had a great experience, and they were all good. I think when you've been doing it I think John's now been doing it for about nearly 30 years, you've weeded through who you will use and who you won't use. So the builders nowadays are only as good as the supply chain that they bring to the project. And the supply chain he brought to ours was fantastic. And, we've used some of those subcontractors on smaller jobs, i.e. just a kitchen renovation of other properties, because of the performance that they did on our house through John.
Now, it is one thing getting a construction certificate. Throughout the process, you're working through to that end goal of the occupation certificate, which means the project has been completed, you can move in on time. How was John crucial in making sure that your project ran on time and ran on budget? Because as you said, some builders, they say it's going to cost $10 and you end up paying $100. And, this is a big thing for you. I mean, you've planned this for many years, you've set a budget, and you've got a limit. I mean, we can only go so far. How was John in helping you through that process?
He was fundamental, because we did it on a cost plus arrangement. It was critical that we were managing time and cost effectively, and what John would do would be a monthly report to us back on where we were tracking on time and cost, areas where we could improve, areas where we couldn't. He was also always updating me on a regular basis on where we were at on the project. I felt very comfortable with that. And these projects are journeys and they're challenging. So having someone that's repeatedly telling you, hang on, you can't do that now, or if you do that, here's the time and cost implications. And every client can make their own call. Everyone's happy to spend more money or happy for it to take longer if you are. But what you want is a builder that's telling you before you do it. And I think that's the key. John's the way John reports to you, you know what's going on well before the fact.
How did John bring his building expertise to help you with some of your design ideas?
I think he just brought a rational approach to it. So we were often, I mean, I was on site every other day, but we were often meeting and talking about different opportunities in the design. And, you know, like I talked about with the 30-year sort of experience John has, with that comes an eye for design, and it becomes an eye for getting things done efficiently and what's the right thing to do for you as a client. So just by all means, and he wouldn't consider himself an architect, but obviously he will help during the process and give you suggestions on the way, and he'll give you ideas around things that will help you design, help you budget, and help you time, which is really the three fundamentals of a new build.
So if one of your friends was sitting down with you over coffee and they're asking a suggestion of a bespoke builder, why would you suggest John and Skope Constructions?
It's very easy because the quality of the outcome is fundamental, and that's what you want to live with. The passion that they have for the projects and the absolute honesty and integrity. You know, that John says he's going to do something, he'll do it. If he says it's going to cost $100, it costs $100. He's straight, and that gives you great comfort when you're spending what is probably one of the biggest investment decisions of your life.
Well, Phil, I'm glad that your project was a success. I know that in speaking to John, he's very proud of the work that they've done, and would like to thank you for joining us on the program today.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think if anyone's out there thinking about it, meet them. That's what I would say. Meet John and the team and understand who you're dealing with, and I don't think you'll be disappointed.